Good evening to you all. You're watching News Sunday, shows how seriously you take what's happening around you and the country. So let's make it a fruitful 1 hour of conversations. President Draupadi Murmu has lent a push to the Justice for Abhaya campaign today, demanding that judicial officers, judges, focus on speedy justice when it comes to cases of rapes and other crimes against women in the country. She was speaking at a national conference of district judges earlier in the day. We have not missed out on a single development connected with the Abhaya case in Kolkata, and it remains a campaign video network. But today, friends, my attention was drawn to a news conference done by teachers and professors of the Hindu community in Bangladesh, in Dhaka, in which it was claimed that about 50 of them have been forced to resign from their jobs because of their religious identity, the fact that they are Hindus. It was an open press conference in the Bangladeshi capital. A tearful professor narrated how she was made to sign on her resignation under duress by an Islamist mob. This flies in the face of some attempts being made, both in Bangladesh and more preposterously in India, that nothing is happening to Hindus in Bangladesh. That victimization narrative of the Hindu community is an Indian media bogey. The interim government in Dhaka, which by the way has no mandate and no constitutional authority except for that it has been imposed upon by a regime change plan, perhaps of the United States, we don't know which, but the government there is failing in its duty to secure its citizens. We're going to discuss that. Also, it's poll season in Jammu and Kashmir, and colorful pictures of election campaign have started beaming from across Jammu and the valley. The energy is to be seen to be believed. Such is the anticipation that even leaders of the banned Jamaat-e-Islami are filing nominations as independents. Established leaders are party hopping if denied tickets in their existing party of affiliation. Is 2024 assembly election in Jammu and Kashmir going to be the most free and fair? More importantly, is it going to wash the sins of 1987, which was considered the most doctored franchise exercise in the history of Jammu and Kashmir? Quick debate in the second half on that. Let me get you the headlines first. Chorus grows for justice. Citizens of Kolkata hit the streets, demand justice for Abhaya. Meanwhile, Sandeep Ghosh's clip goes viral, in which he calls himself Didi's worker. More skeletons tumble out of RGKR hospital. Now a video of Ghosh's threatening hospital staff surfaces.
बंगाल मिनी पाकिस्तान बन रहा है।
वो जिस तरीके का एटमॉस्फेयर बन चुका है, लास्ट 24 घंटे में 6 लड़कियों के साथ बलात्कार या मोलेस्टेशन की घटना घट चुकी है। इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि पश्चिम बंगाल के मुख्यमंत्री को इस्तीफा दे देना।
Bengal BJP Chief Shukanto Majumdar fires fresh salvo at Mamata, says Bengal is becoming a mini Pakistan under her rule.
जो वहाँ के मुख्यमंत्री हैं वो सस्ती लोकप्रियता चाहते हैं, खबरों में रहकर में बना रहना चाहते हैं, और हमने कल भी ट्वीट किया था, ये योगी जी के चाइनीज रेप्लिका है।
We doubles down on the racist jibe at Himanto, calls Himanto Chinese version of Yogi again. JDU leader KC Tyagi quits party as party spokesperson, cites personal reasons for resignation. Tainted actor Jayasuriya breaks his silence over sexual harassment charges, terms cases against him as false allegation. And Prime Minister Modi today held a telephonic conversation with the Indian medal winners in the Paralympic Games in Paris. PM Modi also wished Avani Lakhara success in her other endeavors. Right, welcome back. Viewers, the World Powers and Global Forums have gone silent after making some white noise on the unspeakable attacks on the minority Hindus by the Islamic radicals in Bangladesh. But regardless of the self-proclaimed global champions of tolerance and justice turning a blind eye to their plight, the Hindus continue to be under siege in Dhaka. Not content razing their homes and tearing down their places of worship, the radicals who overran the streets of Bangladesh after the fall of Sheikh Hasina also forced minority teachers to resign en masse. According to a local report citing a minority organization, nearly 50 teachers have been coerced into putting down their papers since Bangladesh fell to lynch mobs and radicals on August 5. Despite assuring proactive steps, the interim rulers continue to sit silent as minority teachers resign in the face of persecution. This is what the interim rulers and their foreign handlers want the new Bangladesh to look like. Watch this report and I come back on the other side with a panel of guests.
The plight of minorities in besieged Bangladesh doesn't even figure in the footnotes of the Western media. The world powers are strangely aloof as the Hindus as other religious minorities continues to face persecution in Bangladesh. According to a local report citing Bangladesh Chhatra Oikeya Parishad, a minority outfit, nearly 50 teachers have been coerced into quitting since the demise of the Hasina regime. Tearing up at the press conference, a Bangladeshi teacher who quit under the threat of harassment and persecution shared her plight. The teacher shared how she was asked to sign on a prepared resignation letter and forced to put her finger impression on the piece of paper as she refused.
আমার আঙ্গুল ধরে ধরে করে আমার ছাত্রছাত্রীরা পরে আমি যদি আমি সিগনেচার না করি তাহলে আমাকে ফিজিক্যাল হ্যারাসমেন্ট করবে কারণ প্রিন্সিপাল তারা নাকি এটা করে আসছে কিন্তু আমি তো দেখি না কারণ আমি তো আমাদের রুমে তালাবদ্ধ ছিলাম আর দুই একজনের টিচারের সাথে একটু করছে কিন্তু ওটা হলো প্রহসন শুধু যদি আমার সাথে করে তাহলে এটা তো ইস্যু হয়ে যায় আমি বুঝে ফেলবো সেজন্য দুই একজনের এটা আলটিমেটলি আমি একটু লিখিত নিচে ভালো ব্যবহার করবেন কিন্তু আমারটা একদম রেজিগনেশন লেটার
Even as Bangladesh mulls asking India turn Hasina over to the caretaker government, a top BNP leader left no one in doubt as to what awaits her in her homeland. To loud cheers in the audience, BNP leader Rumina Farhana said Hasina wouldn't even find a burial site in Bangladesh if she returned.
Sheikh Hasina! পরনের কাপড়টা লইয়া কোনো মতে পলাইছে লোকেদার একটা কাপড় লইতে পারে নাই ভারতের সরকার তারে কিছু কাপড় চোপড় দিছে এক কাপড়ে থাকন লাগতো আমার সকলের প্রাণের নেতা আমাদের নয়নের মণি আমাদের মা দেশনেত্রী বেগম খালেদা জিয়াকে ৭৬ বছর বয়সে হাসিনা তুমি জেল খাটাইছো মিথ্যা মামলায় আমাদের মাকে তুমি বাড়ি ছাড়া করছো ঠিকানা ছাড়া করছো হাসিনা বাংলাদেশের মাটিতে তোমার আর জায়গা হবে না ৭৬ বছর বয়সে পলাইছো তো শ্বশুর বাড়ি আল্লাহ করে যেন কবরটাও তোমার বাংলাদেশে না হয়
Bangladesh continues to suppress the minorities, plays down persecution, and yet wants its deposed leader back. Should India play ball?
All right, there's almost abuse there against India in that soundbite that we heard of that BNP leader. But joining me for this conversation, Vivek Srivastava, he's political analyst, leans towards the left. Live from Delhi, we also have Major General G.D. Bakshi, defense expert, live from Varanasi tonight. Very good evening to you, sir. And I would want to begin with Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhary. He's editor of Blitz. He's joining us live from Dhaka. And he's someone who has been, at the forefront of campaign to protect the Hindu community. And he's very vocal about the fact that there are threats on the ground for the largest minority community of Hindus in Bangladesh. But let's try to understand first what's happening on the ground. Very good evening to you, Mr. Shoaib Chaudhary. This press conference of teachers that happened in Dhaka has got us worried. They are being threatened and forced to resign. Is that true? Because an attempt has been made to paint as if this is Indian media bogey and a campaign to sort of paint Bangladesh in negative light.
Thank you. We have seen the press conference of Ms. Sonali Rani Das, how she was crying in front of the press conference, but we have not seen the case of Professor Shukla Rani Haldar. Professor Shukla Rani Haldar, principal of Bakirganj Government College under Barishal Division, she was forced to sign a plain piece of paper, just writing, "I resign." This is a notorious intimidation, dangerous persecution. And when you say that they blame on media, Indian media, those people must be the cruel of the highest order who want to suppress this kind of persecution. They are not humans, they're inhuman. And because my country, unfortunately, has gone into the grips of the cruel Islamists, and because my country has almost become a neo-Taliban state, and because my country is ruled by a revolutionary regime, that's why Hindus are facing such kind of persecution. And it is not only Hindu teachers. Hindus in the judiciary, Hindus in the civil administration, everywhere. I told repeatedly that they are going home to home, office to office, company to company, saying boycott Indian products and don't employ Hindus. So it is like Hitler's final solution. They want to turn Bangladesh into a Hindu-free nation. And those who are still claiming that these are bogus, they are propaganda, they are shameless people. Shameless.
Right.
And journalists in this country are not being able to speak the truth because murder cases are being brought against the journalists. Very unfortunate. It's a fear everywhere. No one speaks the truth. No one.
Yeah. There is a clear case of intimidation, not just of the Hindu minority. In fact, according to you, Mr. Chaudhary, even of those who take cudgels on behalf of the persecuted minority. Vivek Srivastav, would you doubt what Mr. Chaudhary is telling you about the situation there in Bangladesh?
Absolutely. I mean, there was a lot of rhetoric that he was doing.
Absolutely.
I mean,
you are doubting somebody who's there in Dhaka?
No. I doubt him. He knows that I doubt him. We have been on debates before. I doubt his credibility.
You doubt his credibility?
There have been so many charges against Salahuddin Saab, and he knows it, what I'm talking of. His own country has accused him of being an anti-national. There are sedition charges in this country against him.
Which government?
Ask him if he has had it or not. Ask him.
Which government?
Ask him.
Which
Yes or no?
government? PNP and Jamaat.
And
you are supporting PNP and Jamaat?
Let me know which government.
PNP and Jamaat brought the sedition treason and blasphemy
Which
charges.
government?
And by accusing me, you
No,
are
no.
proving that you
No, what is the point?
Charges also against you. There are financial irregularity charges also against you. Yes or no?
No, what is the point? What is the point,
Yes,
Vivek Srivastav, you are making? Just because the BNP government slapped some cases against Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhary, are you going to doubt that press conference also, Vivek Srivastav? The press conference in which the teacher Sonali Das is seen crying that she was forced to resign?
Yes, I'll talk on that. Firstly, I feel the editor Salahuddin has got an agenda, and he is one-sided and talking in extreme terms and with an extreme vocabulary. Number one. Number two, a big mistake has been done by our country, our foreign ministry, Ministry of External Affairs, when you have given asylum to a leader who has been deposed there because she was acting as almost a dictator, and has put the leader of opposition in Bangladesh 10 years approximately in imprisonment. And the elections that were held in Bangladesh were one-sided. The opposition did not participate. You know, it was just one-sided.
I wonder, Vivek Srivastav, if you are actually speaking on the side of even India. You know, you are a citizen of the country, and you are not even, perhaps you are not even aware what harm to India's national security is going to come with the changes that have taken place in Bangladesh.
Sir, I'll tell you the mistake that we have done. It is always, if there was an ambassador on the panel, and I think maybe TTV Bakshi sir will agree with me, that every government must talk to the ruling party of any other country and also remain in touch with the opposition. Because we never know which party is going to come.
Now the agenda comes out, Vivek Srivastava.
Yes.
It seems you have an agenda. You want the UK High Commissioner in Delhi. You want the US Ambassador in Delhi. You want the German Ambassador in Delhi to talk to you. That's why you're saying we should talk to opposition. And why are you assuming that we have not spoken to opposition, by the way? We have not spoken to BNP?
At the time of Sri Rajiv Gandhi, they were in touch with Mr. Vajpayee also. Courtesy calls are always made. Exchanges are done, and they are done very transparently.
Then why are you assuming that we have not done the same in the case of Bangladesh?
You have not done it, sir. You were one-sidedly, our country was supporting Sheikh Hasina. We were not talking to anybody from BNP for the last 10 years. It was a very, very wrong way of dealing, a very wrong foreign policy. And then when there was a popular student uprising over there, we tried to give it a big name. And then, finally, even after that, you are giving asylum to Sheikh Hasina. When UK is not ready, US is not ready, Denmark refused. You say that, okay, fine, no issues.
Should we throw her to the wolves? Should we throw her to the wolves? Should we let her be executed in Bangladesh? You heard the soundbite of that BNP leader just a while back, Vivek Srivastava.
Sir, we are the immediate neighbor of Bangladesh. You have to understand it out. So, we are not the right country to be giving asylum to her. If it was Nepal or Pakistan or the Gulf or America or Denmark, everybody was refusing to her, so she should try it.
What international law you are quoting that the next immediate neighbor is not supposed to give political asylum?
Because
does Sheikh Hasina have human rights or not? Does she have entitlement to justice or not? Does she have a right to life or not?
Did
you hear that BNP leader? She was mocking the fact that Sheikh Hasina left Bangladesh in just a single pair of clothes or just one sari on her. That's the kind of hate, that's the kind of poison that's there against Sheikh Hasina. And did you hear the kind of language she was using against India? She was saying, Sashur Badi for India. In-laws place for India. These are the people. Do you know that Bangladesh, that India's, anywhere in the world, India has the biggest embassy operations in Dhaka. India's High Commission in Dhaka is biggest anywhere in the world. And you know why? Because the number of Bangladeshis who come to India for everything from their medical needs to their livelihoods. And India operates its biggest mission anywhere in the world in Dhaka. Vivek Srivastava, it's because we are good neighbors and the kind of response we are getting is unfortunate and it's condemnable. But let me go to General Bakshi now. General Bakshi, sir, you know, Vivek Srivastava is saying whatever is happening in Bangladesh is almost like an Indian foreign policy mistake. Sir, please correct him.
You know, I always thought that Vivek was strongly anti-imperialist, strongly anti-United States. I'm a little surprised by what he's saying today in his analysis of what has happened in Bangladesh. In my personal view, this is a colored revolution hatched in Washington and executed in Bangladesh. You can call it orange, violet, green, whatever you like. It is a more or less Arab Spring repeated in South Asia, right? And the fact of the matter is, Hasina Wajed herself said she was called, and the Americans called on her. Victoria Nuland, the famous architect of the Maidan coup in Ukraine, he had visited Bangladesh, and they had threatened her that unless you give us the St. Martin's Island, you will have no problem in your election. We want to build a naval and air base there. She was told that the Americans have a project of creating a Christian country on the India-Myanmar border, incorporating the cookies. You know, she stood by us. She said she would not do anything inimical to India, right? And now you are saying that she has been overthrown. We all know the fact that last year, when General Asim Munir, Pakistan's army chief, had gone to Washington, you know who was one of the people he had met, Vivek? Victoria Nuland. Right?
Yes, I'm aware.
And they were given this tranche of $7 billion, and they have used it instead of feeding their hungry people. दो रोज की रोटी जिनको नहीं मिल रही है, they have used it to execute this student so-called coup d'etat in Dhaka. You know, via the Jamaat-e-Islami, they have infiltrated the students' unions in Dhaka, in Chittagong, Comilla, all the major universities. And they have executed this coup through that.
So, in fact...
And then who gets parachuted into Dhaka? No, let me just finish, please. Who gets parachuted into Dhaka? We have Muhammad Yunus, a darling of the democratic establishment in Washington. He gets parachuted. And then he gives us homilies on, choose between Bangladesh and the Begum Hasina Wajid. You see, the simple fact of the matter is, right, a coup, a colored revolution has been engineered
absolutely
for geopolitical purposes. Let's not be naive. And is Muhammad Yunus going to reinforce law and order and control in Bangladesh?
Absolutely.
Or we will have this looting spree going on for months and months and years. The people of Bangladesh will then ask for a bloody end to this anarchy. And what are you doing to the Hindu minorities? People had been murdered, hung by their ankles from bridges, from the electric poles, the electric transmission wires.
Right, sir.
They are murdering people, torturing them, raping women. Right?
Almost.
They burnt Hindu properties, attacked Hindu temples. So how long are we supposed to sit back and watch this kind of pogrom, this genocide?
Almost like what's been happening in Afghanistan,
in
General Bakshi sir.
1971.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I was there in
It was almost like
71.
Afghanistan.
I have seen... No, Abhishek, I'll just finish.
Yes, sir.
I was there in the 71.
Vivek, hold on.
I have seen those 10 million refugees, 80% of whom were Hindus.
Yes.
80% of whom were Hindus.
In fact, sir...
So they are doing it again?
In fact, sir, the fact is that, for the apologists of the present interim government in Bangladesh, even in India, who say that, oh no, Hindus are not being targeted, the fact of the matter is that Hindu persecution is historical. In 1901, about 33% Hindu community in what is the territory of Bangladesh today. In 1951, 22% still, and now about 8 or 9%. Right, Mr. Chaudhary? Vivek, let me just flip the argument. Let me just flip the argument. Let's for a moment assume that Bangladesh is 90% Hindu, 10% Muslim. And whatever is happening happens with the majority community persecuting the minority. Would you still take the position that you are taking, Vivek?
No, let's not make it Hindu versus Muslim.
It is.
Okay? I totally agree with what General G.D. Bakshi sir said. I totally agree with them that it was an international plot. I totally agree with them. It was hatched. There was a revolution. No, there's no doubt about it. But now the fact of the matter is that who is ruling Bangladesh and what should be the stand of India for the betterment of our country? In Afghanistan, you have the Taliban. The Taliban came to power. It came to power via the Americans. They were all waiting on the land of Saudi Arabia. They got a green signal from America. The American tanks left. And here comes the whole...
You are dodging my question, Vivek Srivastav.
No.
You are dodging my question.
Now it is not, see, I'll be very clear. Let us not be Islamophobic. Let us not blame Muslim community for everything bad that is happening to the Hindus. Majority supporters of Sheikh Hasina belong...
Nobody is being Islamophobic, but are you being Hindu-phobic, Vivek Srivastav? Because you are just not willing to admit that the Hindu community, in this case the minority community, they are being targeted. I said flip the argument. Let's remove the community. Are you going to say or not that the minorities there are being targeted for their minority status, for their religious identity, and it is condemnable? And the fact that this was supposed to be a student-led protest and the students are going after their own teachers.
No, that is not the case. The case is that those office bearers and those supporters who were active leaders of Sheikh Hasina and Awami League, they are the ones who have been asked to resign so that they can put in their own people, very much like what the Sangh has been doing for the last 10 years, placing its own vice chancellors, its own principals, its own professors, trying to take the education policy. So, I mean, it is more of the change of a government, so change in positions. It is not about Hindu versus Muslim over there. We have our own sources, and China is very much now with Yunus. I mean, 3 days back, the news was the Chinese.
I mean, why are you assuming that we are not with Yunus? The point is, Vivek Srivastava, you are just obfuscating and beating around the bush, not willing to admit that one community, I'm not taking the name, one community is being targeted.
Different day.
Such Hindu phobia you suffer, Vivek Srivastava, because of the politics that you practice in our own country, that you are not going to admit. But let me take this to Mr. Chaudhary.
To resign not because they are Hindus, they have been asked to resign because they were supporters of the Awami League.
Not all of them are supporters of Awami League. In fact, Vivek Srivastava, just for your benefit and for people to understand, those who are watching this debate, friends, you know, I have myself spoken to 2 of those teachers. Apart from that, I have spoken to at least 3 Hindu community members in Dhaka whom I had met when I had gone to cover Prime Minister's visit to Bangladesh in 2021. Apart from that, I have received myself calls from at least 2 more people. One of them a senior police officer, not from the minority community, telling me that the situation is bad for the Hindu community particularly. And if I could just, show for the benefit of viewers, just to understand how serious the situation is.
You're just trying to say Muslims are bad people and they kill Hindus.
I am not saying that. I am not saying that. I am saying it is the responsibility of the Muhammad Yunus government to take care of the minorities, just as in India it is the responsibility of the government to take care of the minorities. Let me go to Mr. Chaudhary. Mr. Chaudhary, you were saying that what is happening is not just for against the teachers, but against all other Hindu community professionals, be it in the police, be it in the judiciary. I just want to understand what happens. There's supposed to be a student protest. What happens to the talent deficit that's going to be caused if all those who are from this community are going to be asked to resign?
Thank you. You see, the replacement process, if you kindly go through these things, that they are just forcing them to resign, and they are not yet replacing them. And we don't know how the process will go. But so far, we have seen certain replacement as for example, in the Chief Advisor's office, there are some 2 advisors and one more, his special assistant. So 2 advisors who is in charge of the Information Ministry, another one is the Youth Affairs Ministry. They are the student leader. And both of them are, how to say, I can only say they are still incapable, because on record I can say one foreign news agency went to interview them. They don't understand a word what they are being asked. So this is the replacement. And now the Islamists in Bangladesh, they want to have replacement with their own people.
Yeah.
Bangladesh was not liberated to be an Islamic republic.
Very true.
Bangladesh was liberated to be a secularist country. And this is the reason we Bangladeshis always are in favor of secularism.
Right.
Now, this is the process of Talibanization of Bangladesh. I am on the ground, and this guy is all talking from wherever, I don't know, and he claims himself to be an analyst, and he does not understand the situation here.
Yeah.
He's talking about this situation.
Yeah.
And he is proclaiming himself to be an analyst, though he sounds to be a propagandist.
No, you don't know anything, Vivek Srivastava. Let me just fill you in. Mr. Chaudhary.
Sounding like a propagandist. He has his agenda. And he said, I have agenda. Now, for his information, please listen to me. For his information, I was charged with sedition, treason, and blasphemy by the BNP and Jamaat government. Listen to me. Don't shout. And I was convicted by Awami League government with 7 years rigorous imprisonment. Awami League sent me to jail.
So that means Mr. Abhishek Kapoor was wrong when he said that you were
why you are talking
by the BNP government. So the facts are not clear.
Okay, I stand corrected, Vivek Srivastava, but twice you have tried to, yeah, okay, Mr. Chaudhary, quickly, yes.
The case was filed against me by
the moment the BJP came to power,
and I was convicted by Awami League.
in this country.
So,
the vice president is
which party I
Assembly,
belong?
the speaker.
Vivek Srivastava, at least learn to listen. He's explaining to you something. You made a charge. He has to defend. Hold on.
This guy is
Listen to
working
him.
on me.
Listen to him. You made a charge. Let him defend himself. He's
It's
there.
not about
Okay.
communities. It is
No,
about
no.
parties.
Can you mute him? Actually, you should mute him. He does not have the habit of.
Okay, last word to General Bakshi sir. Last word to
One
General
second,
Bakshi
no,
sir
no.
on this debate. Mr. Chaudhary, you see,
I
I'm
have
running out of
finished,
time,
please.
but this is a very important aspect. You know, Vivek
10
Srivastava,
seconds.
General Bakshi sir
10 seconds.
tried to...
I was charged by PNP Jamaat and convicted.
Understood.
by
You have explained. I think Vivek Srivastava henceforth would be careful with making these kind of charges.
so you are a very
But
good man,
General
Mr.
Bakshi sir,
Salahuddin.
Vivek Srivastava twice tried to mislead. You know, he said that this is about Islamophobia. No, this is not about Islamophobia. We are talking about just some elements in Bangladeshi society who are hell-bent on ruining the heritage of Bangladesh's independence movement. In fact, this interim government, hold on Vivek Srivastava, this interim government is proving to be so spineless. They have released the Ansarul Bangla team leader who has spewed venom against India. They have released the Agartala and Chittagong conspiracy leaders associated with the BNP who were planning to carry out mayhem in northeast India. General Bakshi sir, this is a clear national security threat.
Look, the 1971 war, one of the best kept secrets of that war, Vivek, was that 80% of the 10 million refugees who had been pushed out into India were Hindus. Mrs. Gandhi kept that absolutely under the warps so as not to inflame, passions inside India, right? But we had to send them back. We kept asking, requesting Pakistan to take them back. They just trenchantly refused. And India was left with no option but to take military action. The same scenario they are trying to repeat, right? The same scenario they are trying to repeat. And we have had a government, whatever it is, how legitimate, I would question the elections in the United States. Did anybody try to shoot Khalida Zia in Bangladesh? They have tried to shoot Donald Trump, right? And Donald Trump accuses them of manipulating the elections,
right?
Of tampering with the vote,
right, sir?
So I mean, who is the United States to teach the rest of the world how to conduct elections?
Absolutely. In fact, sir, I'm sorry, I've run out of time. But the fact of the matter is, there are already about 20 cases of murder slapped on Sheikh Hasina. And if she goes back, it's clear that she would be executed. The kind of poison we are seeing against her, it's bounden duty of India. If the United States and United Kingdom have no courage to own up to their mouthing of platitudes on human rights and justice, that it is India's responsibility to take care of Sheikh Hasina, and we'll of course take care of the kind of language that's coming out of Bangladesh. The interim government better watch. On that note, thank you so much, Mr. Chaudhary and Vivek Srivastava, for joining us. I would request General Bakshi sir to stay with us for the second conversation that we are having, a very important one. The poll bandwagon has rolled into the valley for the landmark assembly elections, the first since the abrogation of Article 370 by the Modi government in 2019, seen in the context of the 1987 elections, which were widely perceived to have been rigged, installing the senior Farooq Abdullah at the helm, and throwing the valley into the dark abyss of militancy. The upcoming polls are tipped to be the most free and fair that the valley has perhaps ever seen, to be conducted on the watch of an administration installed by the center. The polls give hope of truly reflecting what Jammu and Kashmir truly wants. It's a Naya Kashmir, as they say. Take a look at this report, and then I come back on the other side with a panel of guests.
As Jammu and Kashmir heads for assembly elections, the question visiting many minds is whether they will right the wrongs of 1987. The polls of 1987, which saw National Conference patron Farooq Abdullah return as Chief Minister, was widely perceived to have been rigged. However, nearly 4 decades on, the valley is poised to see its most free and fair elections ever, genuinely reflecting the voices of the people. While the elections of 1987 put the valley in the throes of terrorism and triggered the flight of Kashmiri Pandits, the upcoming polls could be one for prosperity and progress. While the opposition triad of the National Conference, Congress and the PDP are yet again parroting their templated pro-Pakistan lines, the BJP is setting its hopes on a change of mindset post the rollback of Article 370. While the three-phase polls will decide if the valley chooses integration over alienation, the elections are likely to be the fairest in history.
All right, joining me in this conversation, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP. We also have Aditya Gupta, vice president of the PDP, People's Democratic Party of Jammu and Kashmir. He's joining us live from Kashmir itself, from Jammu, I believe, and Nikhil Jain, political analyst, pro-Congress, leans towards the Congress party, live from Delhi. And I would again want to begin with General Bakshi sir, but very quick, short opening comments, sir. The proposition in this conversation today is that 2024 elections for the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly are going to wash out the sins of 1987. Your opening comments, sir.
No doubt, no doubt. You see, the simple fact of the matter is that Indian electoral process has won plaudits globally. By the recent elections that have been just conducted, have been perceived all over the globe to be free, fair, and very reflective of the moods and wishes of the people. They brought the Modi government 3.0 back on the strength of their good governance, their excellent performance on the security field, and yet when they had some apprehensions, they have reduced the majority. I think it is as fair a verdict as you can get anywhere. India is a model democracy.
Absolutely. And look at the beauty, sir.
Lessons on how to conduct elections from the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the beauty, sir. And let me get Aditya Gupta on this, representing the PDP. Aditya, I was going through the players in the game this time, with their hats in the ring. The National Conference, along with the Indian National Congress, the PDP on its own, there is the BJP, there is the Awami Ittehad Party of Engineer Rashid, there is the Apni Party, there is People's Conference, there is Jamaat-e-Islami. Many of those, of course, it's a banned group, but they are contesting independently, we are hearing. There is CPM of Muhammad Yusuf Tariqami, always present there from Kulgam. And so, 8 or 9 players with their hats in the ring, Aditya. Isn't it Festival of Democracy really panning out in the valley as also, of course, Jammu?
See, this is this assembly elections are coming to Jammu and Kashmir after 10 years. There's no doubt that people express their opinion as far as with regard to the decisions taken post-abrogation and also the decision of abrogation. It is required to be conducted in fair manner so that the 1987 blot is removed. But what is happening right now in Jammu and Kashmir is creating more of an issue. See, recently, 2 days back, right in the middle of the elections, SSPs in north-central Kashmir, like Baramulla, Srinagar have changed. Transfers took place right before the election were declared. So once these elections and these transfers take place, it raises questions and raises the eyebrows are raised on when such incidents take place, when such transfers on administration side is taken, and they are very much connected with the kind of change in the political scenario in Jammu and Kashmir. The way the new BJP has...
Come on, Aditya, are you nitpicking? You admitted that this is a fantastic process rolling out. Should I accuse you of nitpicking, like making a mountain out of molehill? This is an administrative process. Moving one officer from here to there. You think one SSP can really make a difference to the kind of exercise of franchise that's panning out in Jammu and Kashmir? I mean, are you being honest or fair?
Yeah, I have these transfers took place 1 day prior to the declaration of elections. What happened in last 1 month that you had to suddenly change the SSPs from 3 different districts? So these things could have been easily avoided.
Before I go to
point-
Sanju
the point-
Verma,
the whole- the
before I
whole
go to
idea
Sanju
is
Verma, I want curiosity I have of the PDP, the election manifesto of PDP.
The confidence of population.
In the general elections, the manifesto of PDP did not mention anything on the abrogation of Article 370. Now it has appeared. You are saying, why are SSPs being moved suddenly in the last 3 days? The PDP has, as an afterthought, brought in abrogation of Article 370 as an issue in its manifesto. It was not there in general elections. So your thought has also evolved.
So the fact of the matter is that you are picking only Article 370 in the PDP manifesto. You forgot to mention that PDP manifesto also talks about regularization of the daily wages, which is 60,000. It also talks about the reservation policy being revised, which has crossed 70% of reserved categories coming into getting the reservations. It talks about giving free electricity to people. It talks about creating a religious corridor between Jammu and Kashmir. It talks about giving women battalions in every district. It talks about giving free, stamp duty exemptions to the females. Isn't that is also part of the manifesto?
Yes, it is absolutely part of the manifesto. In fact, I must admit before I go to Sanju Verma
that people will love to have it.
But for this issue of abrogation of Article 370, on which, by the way, both PDP and NC are on the same page, it seems. Sanju Verma, I have gone through, by the way, the manifestos of both the PDP and the NC, and the kind of accent that's there on development program there, I think it's going to give a tough fight to the BJP, Sanju Verma, in terms of the development politics that you practice or that you seek to practice.
Abhishek, first and foremost, I heard patiently the PDP spokesperson. I expect him to not interject me. I will just read out last year from the verdict given by CJI Chandrachud, no less. He said, there were a host of petitions saying, Article 370 ka abrogation is illegal. BJP ne Samvidhan ki dhajjiyan uda di. This is what CJI Chandrachud had to say. And your audience needs to hear this. So does the PDP spokesperson. Justice Chandrachud says this: concurrence of the state government was not required to apply all provisions of the constitution using Article 371D. So the President of India taking the concurrence of the union government to abrogate Article 370 was not mala fide. The then President, of course, we all know, was Ramnath Kovind. And in 10 seconds, please hear this. The Supreme Court further says, the declaration issued by the President exercises the power in Clause 3 of Article 370, which is a culmination of the process of integration. The moment the instrument of accession was signed by Maharaja of Kashmir, Kashmir relinquished the element of sovereignty that it had. Thus, we do not find that the President's exercise of power under Clause 3 of Article 370 to abrogate Article 370 was mala fide. We hold the exercise of presidential powers to be valid.
Okay.
Pehli baat to ye, abrogation of Article 370 is bona fide, not mala fide, says not Sanju Verma, says not the BJP, said CJI Chandrachud in 2023 December. Point number 1. Point number 2, we've lived up to our promise as per the J&K Reorganization Bill of 2023. We increased the number of seats, from 107 to 114, including 24 seats which have been reserved for POK, 9 for scheduled tribes, 7 for scheduled castes, and 2 for Kashmiri immigrants, including 1 particularly for a woman who's an immigrant.
Absolutely.
Point number 3, I just want to very quickly say this to you, Abhishek.
Yes.
And this is a very important piece of data.
Yes.
It will show
quickly, Sanju,
that the process of integrating Kashmir into the mainstream is more or less by and large now consummated. In the just concluded Lok Sabha 2024 elections, the 3 seats in the valley, Srinagar, Baramulla and Anantnag Rajouri, recorded record turnouts of 59.1%
yes,
and 54.84% respectively.
More than Mumbai, Sanju Verma, by the way, where you're sitting from, you are speaking from.
10 seconds more. The 2 seats in the Union Territory, namely Udhampur and Jammu, recorded voter turnouts of 68.27 and 72.22% in a clear sign that the younger generation has embraced democracy in a big way. PDP wale rote rahenge.
Okay.
We really don't care.
Okay, Nikhil Jain. Nikhil Jain, you know, Sanju has provided you with a Hobson's choice. Would you want to contradict Sanju or would you want to contradict Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud? Make your pick and respond.
Abhishek, I hope I get to speak without interruption. So I'll deal with the issues one by one that have been raised on the debate so far. So it was being said that the 1987 elections in Jammu and Kashmir were widely perceived as rigged elections. So are we saying that the Indian army, the Indian government, the Indian state was rigging elections in Jammu and Kashmir? And if indeed we are saying that, what is to say that the Indian army or the Indian state or the BJP government is not going to do that in 2024? Either we have to say that both the times...
What kind of deductive logic is that, Nikhil Jain? Let me counter you. What kind of deductive logic is that?
You can't say that in 1987 the Indian army could do such a thing.
Is this Congress's guilt speaking through you? Is this Congress's guilt speaking through you? Because 1987 was rigged?
No. Let me make my point. Abhishek,
no, sir, Sanju, you don't interrupt. I am speaking to him. Nikhil Jain, is this the guilt of the Congress party speaking through you? About 1987?
I'm simply pointing out a pattern in the fact that in 2024, the Lok Sabha elections that were conducted, they were the ones where the election commission was under great fire from voices within India and voices from beyond, like Major General Bakshi mentioned.
But what is your assessment? Were the 2024 general elections that happened in the month of April and May in Jammu and Kashmir not free and fair?
BJP ko bhashan dena band karo.
No, he's not giving bhashan to BJP. I'm countering him.
I am talking about the general elections in the country as a whole, and what we saw was a brazenly partisan election commission. I will not go to the extent of saying that the elections were rigged.
General Bakshi sir, no, because he has raised doubts about the Indian army. General Bakshi sir, this is absolutely unfair on the part of Nikhil, but I let you respond to him.
Who was the Prime Minister in 1987? It was Rajiv Gandhi. इसलिए शांत हो जाओ. Rajiv Gandhi failed as a leader.
General Bakshi sir.
Excuse me. Thank you. Now, you know, Nikhil, Jammu and Kashmir has seen several elections after 1987. In fact, in the 2002 elections, I was the brigade commander in Kishtwar, right? And we have all seen those elections to be manifestly free and fair. As at that time, there were even external observers from other countries. We have been holding free and fair elections, and as Sanju Verma just gave you the data, the hard facts on the most recent Lok Sabha elections that were conducted in Jammu and Kashmir, the turnouts were far bigger than the mainland, far stronger than people had come out in the mainland, because we have been able to ensure peace and security, create a climate in which the people felt emboldened to come out and exercise their franchise, right? The elections in the rest of India have been hailed the world over as manifestly free and fair, right? It's a kind of something for democracies to emulate in other countries. Manifestly free and fair elections, right? So I don't see why, on what basis are we fear-mongering? On what basis are we getting into hypothetical scare scenarios? They are going to be, all the elections, you know, 87, a lot of dust and row was raised. How far true, how far untrue, that's still open to question. A perception was created that those were not free and fair. And thereafter, n number of elections have been held in Jammu and Kashmir, even when foreign observers were present. And they have been declared as free and fair. So why should that change? Please tell me.
Absolutely, sir. In fact,
General Bakshi, that is precisely my point, that without any conclusive proof, how do we call the 1987 elections as rigged elections, despite the fact
Nikhil,
that...
I understand your compulsions to be an apologist for the Congress party for what happened in 1987.
No, Abhishek, it's not about being an apologist. It's simply pointing the fact that the reason the world hails the Indian elections as free and fair, as General Bakshi agrees with me, is because of the election commissions that have existed in the past.
Thank you so much for admitting that we have free and fair elections, and the credit goes to Election Commission of India, which is a constitutional body, Nikhil Jain. But I have a political question for you, if you are willing to take it. You are trying to wriggle out of this 370 conundrum that the Congress party faces, but the Congress party is in a pincer in Jammu and Kashmir. Congressman Ghulam Mohammad Dar from Sonawari, Bandipora has joined the JDU today. Your party's chief In Jammu and Kashmir, Tariq Hamid Kara has said, oh, we have national compulsions because of which we have formed an alliance with the National Conference. It's no conviction alliance. It's a compulsion alliance.
So what would you say, Abhishek, what would you say about the BJP's alliance with the JDU and with the TDP, both which claim to be secular parties, both which claim to have Muslims as one of their core vote banks, while the BJP is a party that would not give a single ticket to a Muslim in the MLA elections or MP elections outside Jammu and Kashmir?
Salahuddin lost the 1987 elections despite winning by a huge margin. Finally, it was declared. I'm no fan of Sayyid Salahuddin, but Sayyid Salahuddin was declared a loser. Are you saying the Indian Army was making elections?
Indian Army was not conducting elections, Nikhil Jain. Let me correct you. Indian Army was not conducting elections. Indian Army does not conduct elections. You are manipulating and peddling mistruth. I will not allow you to do that.
Abhishek, elections cannot be rigged until the security forces are in your pocket.
No, you don't understand. Indian Army has no role whatsoever in elections. The fact is, elections are a political exercise conducted by the Election Commission of India, which you commended just a while back.
The most important role in ensuring the conduct of free and fair elections, Abhishek. We've seen how the Naxalites, how Maoist militants have tried to hinder with the...
I'm not liking this. I wanted a happy conversation on a fantastic achievement for India's democracy and its institutions, that such a fair election process is rolling out in Jammu and Kashmir for the world to watch. Hold on.
From Salahuddin to Yasin Malik have been mollycoddled by the Congress regimes over the decades. Sayyid Salahuddin lost the 1987 elections to Ghulam Muhyiddin Shah despite winning. After winning, it was declared Sayyid Salahuddin.
Hold on. Jammu.
Yasin Malik was the manager of Sayyid.
Sanju, I have a question for you. Sanju, I have a question for you. There was a political question for Aditya, he dodged it. There was a political question for Nikhil, he dodged it. Sanju, I have a political question for you if you are going to take it. Sanju, I have a political question for you if you are going to take it.
Rajiv Gandhi said...
Sanju, I have a political question for you if you are going to take it. You see, effectively, if you look at the way things are panning out, Sanju Verma, as representative of the BJP, are you conscious of the fact that if there is anti-incumbency against any political party today in Jammu and Kashmir, it's BJP, because BJP is seen as an incumbent in the union territory, Sanju Verma. Are you conscious of the fact?
Thank you, Abhishek. First and foremost, I have to give a disclaimer. I am not a fan of Yasin Malik. I am not a fan of Sayyid Salahuddin. But I simply mentioned that Sayyid Salahuddin and Yasin Malik, who was Sayyid Salahuddin's electoral manager in 1987, they lost elections despite technically winning. And all this happened under the government of Rajiv Gandhi. Now please, hold your horses. I can see that you've not read for the topic.
No, I can understand how you would like terrorists to sit in the parliament.
शांत रहो, आता जाता कुछ है नहीं, बिना पढ़े लिखे डिबेट पर आ जाते हो. Now let me tell you why the incumbent will not lose J&K. I will tell you one reason. We all know that as far as Jammu Kashmir is concerned, less than 5 years back, I have data on my fingertips. The entire size of J&K's economy, Abhishek, was less than 50,000 crore. And today it is more than 5 lakh crore. Point number one. Tourists used to fear going to Jammu Kashmir. What are you talking about?
Nikhil, don't interrupt.
Are you saying that in 5 years the economy is growing?
Nikhil, don't interrupt. I'm coming to you.
Oh my God.
I'm coming to you, Nikhil, don't interrupt.
Tourists have visited. Abhishek, a very important data. And this is there in the public domain. Amit Shah ji has spoken about it ad nauseum. 1.88 crore tourists visited Jammu Kashmir in the last 18 months. And even somebody like Nikhil Jain, who hates the BJP, will admit that Jammu Kashmir is by and large a tourism-funded economy. And if you have close to 2 crore tourists visiting Jammu Kashmir in a span of barely 12 to 14 or 18 months, that speaks volumes about the fact that by and large, Jamhuriyat, Insaniyat, Kashmiriyat barqarar hai Kashmir mein. And after 33 years, 2 years back, theatres were opened in Jammu Kashmir.
Okay, Sanju.
In 2022, we unfurled the national tricolor at Lal Chowk in Srinagar.
Okay.
Jammu Kashmir mein Vande Mataram.
Yes.
Jana Gana Mana. Bharat Mata ki jai bolne kisi ko sankoch nahi hota hai.
Okay.
Kisi ko sharm nahi aati hai because Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister.
Okay.
People are scared to even say Vande Mataram and Bharat Mata ki jai in Jammu Kashmir.
Okay, yes, that's...
And the last point.
Quickly, Sanju. I have run out of time. Quickly.
Today, Valmikis have the right to not just vote, Valmikis have the right to stand for elections. Thanks to abrogation of Article 370, Valmikis were considered like pariahs. They were considered like outcasts from...
Okay, Sanju, I have run out of time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, General Bakshi, sir. Thank you so much, Aditya Gupta. I would have wanted to... Thank you, Nikhil Jain. And friends, it's a beautiful process panning out in Jammu and Kashmir. Garlands are much in demand. Sleek campaign videos are being made. There are processions, rallies, stump speeches happening. And perhaps this is going to be the most free and fair election exercise in the history of Jammu and Kashmir that we are going to see. It's a beautiful process panning out. We should take pride in the fact that India is sending a strong message to the rest of the world also, that despite all the troubles, when it comes to democracy, we are strong. After all, we are a mother of democracy, and Jammu and Kashmir also. Thanks for watching this Sunday. Break. News is back on the other side. And of course, tomorrow, 8 p.m., Super Primetime Match with Arnab Goswami.